Beloved soul, I am Michael, commander of the celestial armies, defender of divine truth. My words pierce the veil between worlds to reach you in this exact moment. Stop everything. Listen carefully. This message has been encoded specifically for your spiritual frequency. Within the next 2 hours, a divine intervention is being orchestrated in your life. The celestial timers have been activated. Heaven's council has convened concerning your situation, and I have been dispatched with urgent revelation that cannot wait another moment. Type AMEN to receive the blessing of 1444 as confirmation that you have been found by this message. My child, they did not expect me to reach you today. The dark forces working against your divine destiny have been operating in shadows, constructing elaborate deceptions designed to derail your spiritual inheritance. They believed their plans were concealed from the eyes of heaven, but nothing remains hidden from the all-seeing gaze of the divine. I must warn you immediately. There have been meetings behind closed doors. Your name has been spoken in rooms where light does not reach. Agreements have been made concerning your future without your knowledge or consent. But what they intended for your demise, the Creator will transform into your supernatural elevation. The sacred scrolls containing your true identity were sealed with 7 locks, kept from your awareness until this precise moment in the divine timeline. Now, as the cosmic clock strikes this hour, I am authorized to begin the unsealing process. The first seal breaks as you receive these words. Type I receive to activate the breaking of the first seal and receive the blessing of 2222. Within the angelic archives, your spiritual lineage has been traced to an ancient bloodline of light bearers. This is why the opposition against you has been so severe. The enemy recognizes what you have yet to fully comprehend. You carry codes of awakening that will activate dormant gifts in countless others once you step into your full authority. Listen carefully. For the past 7 cycles, you have been under intensive spiritual surveillance. Those you believed were allies have been reporting your movements to councils of opposition. Your words have been twisted, your intentions misrepresented, your character assassinated in realms you cannot perceive with physical senses. Yet in precisely 1 hour and 47 minutes from when you first opened this divine transmission, a reversal begins. The Creator has authorized what we call a divine counterflow, where every negative word, action, and intention directed toward you must now flow back to its source 7-fold. I see tears you have shed in private moments. I have collected each one in heaven's vials. Not a single moment of your suffering has gone unnoticed. The nights you questioned if you were truly heard, if your prayers disappeared into empty space, I was there, recording every word in the celestial records. Type I believe to receive the blessing of 3333 and accelerate the divine counterflow. There are 3 individuals who have been assigned to block your breakthrough. Their names are being highlighted in the spiritual realm even now. You do not need to know their earthly identities. Divine justice does not require your participation. Heaven's court has reviewed the evidence, and the verdict has been rendered in your favor. In the coming hours, watch for these confirmations. An unexpected message will arrive from a forgotten connection. You will experience sudden clarity about a situation that has confused you. A physical manifestation will appear, something blue in an unusual place. You will feel a wave of peace despite circumstances that should cause anxiety. These signs will confirm that the celestial machinery of divine restoration has been activated on your behalf. The angelic warriors under my command have been dispatched to stand guard over your mind, your home, your relationships, and your divine assignment. No weapon formed against you shall prosper in this season of supernatural vindication. For too long, the enemy has manipulated circumstances to make you doubt your calling. Doors that should have opened remain sealed. Relationships that should have flourished mysteriously dissolved. Financial increase that should have manifested was diverted. But the season of explanation has arrived. Type I am ready to receive the blessing of 4444 and activate the full revelation sequence. Now I must disclose what few human ears have heard. The opposition against you stems not merely from human jealousy or organizational politics. Your soul carries a specific frequency that threatens the established dark structures in multiple dimensions. When you speak, when you create, when you merely enter a room, your energy disrupts the corrupted spiritual technologies that have kept consciousness suppressed. This is why they have worked tirelessly to drain your energy through manufactured drama, isolate you from your true soul connections, plant seeds of doubt about your intuitive knowing, create financial pressure to keep you in survival mode, distract you with lesser assignments beneath your calling. But in exactly 1 hour and 29 minutes from now, the divine reversal protocol initiates. What was stolen will be returned with multiplication. Where doors were blocked, multiple pathways will appear simultaneously. Those who raise themselves against you will find their own foundations crumbling beneath them, not through your effort, but through the natural law of divine consequence. The Creator has authorized me to inform you that your name has been spoken in the Council of Elders. The ancient ones who oversee the implementation of divine justice have reviewed your soul's contract and found multiple breaches against the sacred agreements made concerning your earthly journey. Restitution has been commanded. Restoration has been decreed. The timeline for your divine breakthrough has been accelerated beyond what would normally be possible within the constraints of earthly chronology. Type I accept to receive the blessing of 5,555 and anchor this acceleration into your reality. Beloved, there is something specific you've been praying for, a particular breakthrough that seems impossible in natural terms. I am authorized to tell you that the request has been granted. The manifestation has already been released from the spiritual realm and is making its way into physical form. The exact timing depends on several factors, including your ability to maintain frequency alignment through faith despite contradictory circumstances. But be warned, as this blessing approaches manifestation, the opposition will intensify. Unexpected obstacles may appear. People may suddenly withdraw support. Physical symptoms of warfare may manifest in your body. Recognize these as desperate countermeasures from an enemy who realizes their time of influence over your circumstances is ending. Do not engage with these distractions. Your weapon is silence. Your power is stillness. When accusations come, when misunderstandings multiply, when it seems the darkness is winning, remain in perfect peace. This posture of spiritual sovereignty will accelerate the manifestation of your breakthrough more than any defense or explanation you could offer. In the celestial archives, I have reviewed the scrolls of your life. I have seen the childhood wounds that the enemy has exploited to keep you in cycles of self-doubt. I have witnessed the moments when divine connection was corrupted by well-meaning but misguided religious instruction. I have observed the soul contracts that were established without your informed consent. By divine authority, I now declare these contracts null and void. The energetic bindings created through deception are now dissolved. The false identities assigned to you by human systems of limitation are now removed. Type I am free to receive the blessing of 6,666 and complete this spiritual unbinding. Now listen carefully, for this next revelation is crucial. In exactly 1 hour and 11 minutes from now, a portal of opportunity will open that has been sealed for 7 generations in your family line. Through this opening, wisdom and resources that were diverted from your ancestors will finally reach their intended destination through you. This generational transfer includes creative abilities that were suppressed, financial abundance that was blockaded, spiritual authority that was undermined, relationships that were deliberately severed, knowledge that was intentionally concealed. The opposition knows this transfer is imminent. This explains the sudden intensity of warfare you've experienced in recent weeks. Everything from unusual health symptoms to technological malfunctions, from relationship tensions to financial pressures, all orchestrated to destabilize your energy field before this massive influx of generational blessing. But they have failed. You are reading these words now because divine protection has prevailed. The assignment to prevent you from receiving this message was unsuccessful. The first phase of restoration has already begun. I must now reveal something that will explain much of your life experience. Your soul chose an accelerated path of spiritual evolution that compressed multiple lifetimes of learning into this single incarnation. This is why you have experienced unusual levels of testing and opposition, profound spiritual insights from early childhood, recurring patterns of betrayal and abandonment, intense cycles of breakthrough followed by unexpected setbacks, the sense of carrying a mission you couldn't fully articulate. You are not merely living a human life. You are conducting an ascension experiment that is being closely monitored by both light and dark forces across multiple dimensions. Type I understand to receive the blessing of 7,777 and activate heightened spiritual perception. In the next 2 hours, pay careful attention to synchronicities. The Creator will speak to you through patterns too precise to be coincidence, numbers that repeat, phrases that appear multiple times, symbols that catch your attention. These are not random. They are encoded communications designed to bypass the conscious mind and activate dormant spiritual technologies within your DNA. The angelic legion assigned to your breakthrough has been increased sevenfold today. Warriors of light surround you, working tirelessly to clear the energetic pathways for your blessing manifestation. Some have been assigned to remove blockages in your ancestral line. Others are neutralizing current opposition. Still others are preparing the terrain for what will emerge through you in the coming season. Now I must deliver a challenging truth. There are 3 individuals who have presented themselves as allies, but whose true assignments are to monitor and undermine your spiritual advancement. These connections were forged in soul agreements made between incarnations, and their missions are complex, not merely to harm you, but to test your discernment and fortify your boundaries. The Creator does not require you to confront or expose these individuals. Divine justice operates independently of human effort. Simply acknowledge this truth internally, adjust your energetic boundaries accordingly, and watch as these connections naturally dissolve or transform as your frequency continues to elevate. Type I discern to receive the blessing of 8,888 and activate enhanced spiritual protection. Beloved soul, your tears have been collected in heaven's vials. Not a single moment of suffering has been wasted. What the enemy intended to destroy you has instead been alchemized into spiritual gold that will fund the next phase of your divine assignment. In exactly 59 minutes, the reversal begins. The specific prayers you have offered, spoken and unspoken, are being answered in ways that will astonish you. The exact timing and manifestation may not match your human expectations, but the essence of what your soul truly seeks is being granted with divine precision. I must warn you, when this manifestation begins, do not speak of it prematurely. Sacred silence is required during the early stages of divine materialization. The powers that have opposed you cannot interfere with what they cannot perceive. Your declaration creates visibility. Maintain silent gratitude until the manifestation has fully anchored in physical reality. The opposition has studied your patterns and knows your vulnerabilities. They anticipate your reactions and have prepared specific triggers designed to collapse your energetic field at the moment of breakthrough. Recognize and reject these orchestrated distractions. Sudden health concerns that trigger fear, unexpected financial demands, relationship conflicts that appear from nowhere, past traumas being mysteriously triggered, unusual technological disruptions, especially communication devices. These are not random occurrences, but calculated attempts to lower your frequency and disrupt the divine transmission currently underway. Type I perceive to receive the blessing of 9,999 and strengthen your spiritual immune system against these interferences. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to reveal that there have been 17 previous attempts to deliver this specific activation to you. Each was blocked by sophisticated interference technologies operating through unwitting human hosts in your environment. Today's transmission succeeds because multiple factors align simultaneously. Your personal frequency reached the necessary threshold. Cosmic stellar alignments created a temporary blind spot in the opposition's surveillance. A critical mass of prayers from your ancestral line received authorization for intervention. Your recent decision to remove yourself from a specific environment created an energetic opening. This convergence created the perfect condition for divine transmission. The message you are receiving contains encoded light frequencies that are restructuring your energetic field even as you read these words. In exactly 47 minutes, you will begin to feel the effects of this restructuring. You may experience unusual body sensations, particularly in the crown, throat, and heart centers, sudden emotional releases without apparent cause, heightened sensitivity to light, sound, and energy, spontaneous insights about situations that have confused you, a peculiar sensation of time distortion. These are normal responses to the recalibration currently underway. The physical vessel requires time to integrate the accelerated frequencies being downloaded through this transmission. I must now address the financial blockades that have constrained your movement and limited your ability to fulfill your mission. These restrictions were not merely the result of human economics or personal choices. Sophisticated energy technologies have been directed at your abundance channels, creating artificial constrictions in your supply flow. By divine decree, these technologies are now being dismantled. The angelic financiers who manage heaven's resources have been instructed to bypass normal manifestation protocols and implement acceleration codes specifically for your situation. Type I receive abundance to activate the blessing of 10,000 and initiate this financial restructuring. Beloved, there is a situation in your life that has caused deep confusion, a circumstance where spiritual understanding and human experience seem contradictory. I am authorized to tell you that this apparent contradiction was deliberately engineered to develop specific spiritual muscle needed for your next assignment. The pain you have experienced in this situation has not been punishment or abandonment. It has been precision spiritual technology designed to activate dormant aspects of your multidimensional capacity. What felt like divine absence was actually intensified presence, working at levels too subtle for human perception. In exactly 38 minutes, the final piece of understanding regarding this situation will be released to your consciousness. When this revelation arrives, it will reorganize your perception of the entire experience and extract the remaining spiritual nutrients contained within this challenge. The opposition has worked diligently to isolate you from your soul family, the specific beings contracted to support and accompany you during this incarnation. Through sophisticated interference, many of these divine connections have been delayed or diverted. The resulting isolation has been one of the enemy's primary strategies to weaken your resolve and distort your perception. Today, this strategy ends. The Creator has authorized what we call a divine convergence protocol, an accelerated timeline that brings destined connections into alignment regardless of physical distance or circumstance. In the coming weeks, watch for unexpected reconnections and new introductions that carry an unusual sense of familiarity. These are your soul companions being divinely orchestrated back into your experience. Type "I welcome connection" to receive the blessing of 11,111 and activate this convergence protocol. Beloved, your name is being spoken in multiple dimensions today. The spiritual technologies you are anchoring through your embodied presence are creating ripple effects beyond what you can perceive. Your consistent choice to maintain integrity despite opposition has qualified you for expanded authority in the coming cycle. The angelic scribes have recorded each instance when you chose truth over convenience, forgiveness over vengeance, faith over fear. These choices were not merely personal virtues, they were strategic spiritual moves that established critical frequencies in contested energetic territories. In exactly 29 minutes, the full impact of these accumulated choices will be made visible in the spiritual realm. Those who have opposed you will witness a manifestation of light that will leave no question about divine backing. Some will retreat in realization. Others will intensify opposition out of desperation. Still others will experience sudden awakening and seek reconciliation. Your assignment is simply to maintain center, neither gloating over the retreat of opponents nor rushing to embrace those who suddenly seek connection. Divine discernment will guide you regarding appropriate boundaries as this unfolds. I must now address the health challenges that have manifested in your physical vessel. What appeared as natural dysfunction was, in many cases, the result of directed energy technologies designed to drain your life force and limit your capacity. These technologies operate through multiple vectors, including manufactured emotional triggers that deplete adrenal reserves, subtle energy attacks during vulnerable sleep cycles, frequency broadcasts that disrupt cellular communication, thought implantations that create self-destructive behaviors, environmental toxins specifically harmful to your unique biology. By divine authority, I now command the dissolution of these technologies and the restoration of your original divine blueprint. The celestial physicians have been dispatched to begin a systematic recalibration of your physical systems. Type "I am healed" to receive the blessing of 12,121 and activate this physical restoration protocol. Beloved, your dreams have been under surveillance. The subconscious realms where much of your spiritual work occurs have been monitored by those who recognize the power of your unconscious creation. Specific dream patterns have been deliberately disrupted to prevent the integration of higher knowledge. Beginning tonight, this interference ends. The Creator has assigned specialized angelic technicians to establish protected corridors in your dream state, secure pathways where divine download can occur without interception. You may notice an immediate change in dream clarity, emotional tone, and recall ability. Record everything you remember upon waking. These dreams will contain coded instructions and revelations crucial for the next phase of your journey. Symbols, colors, numbers, faces, all carry significance beyond their apparent meaning. In exactly 22 minutes, a seed of divine manifestation will be planted in the deepest soil of your being. This seed contains the blueprint for your next level of service and abundance. It will germinate at its appointed time, regardless of external circumstances or apparent readiness. Your role is simply to maintain the optimal internal conditions for growth. Regular hydration with divine truth, sufficient rest in sacred stillness, appropriate energetic boundaries with depleting connections, consistent communion with higher aspects of consciousness, deliberate disengagement from fear-based narratives. As this seed develops, you will experience spontaneous knowing about specific actions, connections, and creations that align with your expanded mission. Type I nurture growth to receive the blessing of 13,131 and optimize conditions for this divine seed. Beloved, I must now reveal a truth about your spiritual journey that few human ears have heard. The particular path you walk is what we call a pattern-breaking timeline, a specialized incarnation designed to interrupt negative cycles that have persisted through multiple generations. This explains why conventional spiritual formulas often fail to produce results in your experience. Your soul did not incarnate to follow established patterns, but to disrupt them. The discomfort you felt in traditional spiritual environments was not evidence of misalignment, but confirmation of your innovative purpose. Your spirituality is meant to be revolutionary, not conformist. The unique combinations you are drawn to create, seemingly disparate elements that you intuitively weave together, represent the emergence of new spiritual technologies specifically designed for the coming evolutionary cycle. In exactly 17 minutes, you will receive confirmation of this truth through an external synchronicity so precise it cannot be dismissed as coincidence. When this sign appears, acknowledge it internally as divine validation of your unconventional path. The opposition has invested significant resources in making you doubt your spiritual instincts. They have used authority figures who dismissed your experiences, spiritual communities that subtly rejected your innovations, comparative thoughts that highlighted your difference as deficiency, historical precedents that didn't include your type of expression, logical arguments that undermined your intuitive knowing. These were not random discouragements, but strategic attempts to prevent the emergence of the specific spiritual technologies you are encoded to anchor on Earth. Type I trust my knowing to receive the blessing of 14,141 and stabilize your unique spiritual expression. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to reveal that you are carrying codes of awakening meant for collective activation. Your individual healing journey is not merely personal, it is establishing templates that will eventually serve thousands of others with similar soul configurations. This is why your challenges have been so intense and your victories so hard-won. You are not simply clearing your own path, but creating accessible routes where none previously existed. The opposition has fought fiercely because your breakthrough creates scalable models that threaten established systems of limitation. In exactly 12 minutes, the first wave of this collective impact begins. Somewhere in the world, someone you may never meet in physical form will experience spontaneous activation through the energetic template you've established through your personal transformation. This multiplier effect will continue, accelerating as more beings align with the frequencies you've anchored. Your individual journey has cosmic implications. The seemingly personal victories you achieve create vibrational precedents that make similar breakthroughs more accessible for all who follow. This explains the disproportionate resistance you've encountered. Your individual evolution affects the collective field in ways the opposition clearly perceives. I must now address the timeline distortions that have affected your life experience. Certain pivotal moments when breakthrough should have occurred were manipulated through sophisticated chronological interference. Connections, opportunities, and revelations that were divinely orchestrated were artificially delayed or redirected. By divine decree, these timeline manipulations are now being corrected. The Creator has authorized what we call divine chronological realignment, a specialized intervention that restores the original intended sequence of your unfolding destiny. Type I align with divine timing to receive the blessing of 15,151 and activate this chronological restoration. Beloved, in exactly 8 minutes, pay close attention to your physical surroundings. The Creator will speak through seemingly ordinary objects, arrangements, or occurrences. Something in your environment will suddenly appear significant, a pattern, color, shape, or position that captures your attention. This is not random, but a direct communication encoded specifically for you. When you notice this sign, pause and acknowledge it internally. The full meaning may not be immediately apparent, but the recognition itself activates deeper levels of understanding that will unfold over the coming days. Now I must reveal something about your creative expression. The inspired ideas, projects, and visions you've received are not merely personal inspirations, but divine transmissions intended to introduce specific frequencies into the collective consciousness. Your creative work carries codes of awakening that operate beyond conscious comprehension. This explains both the unusual inspiration you experience and the mysterious opposition that arises when you attempt to share your creations. The resistance you encounter is not personal rejection, but systematic interference with the frequencies your work carries. The Creator has authorized an immediate removal of these creative blocks. The specific projects you felt most drawn to, but encountered the most resistance around, are precisely the ones carrying the most transformative potential. Type I create freely to receive the blessing of 16,161 and dissolve these creative barriers. Beloved, in exactly 5 minutes, a wave of divine peace will pass through your energy field. It may manifest as sudden calm, unexpected emotional release, or a spontaneous deep breath. However it appears, recognize it as divine calibration, preparing you for the accelerated manifestation about to unfold. I must now speak about your spiritual protection. The opposition has studied your energetic patterns and identified specific vulnerabilities, moments and circumstances when your field becomes temporarily permeable to interference. They have exploited these openings to implant limiting beliefs, energetic restrictions, and false identities. By divine authority, I now establish what we call a sovereign boundary protocol, an enhanced protection system that automatically strengthens during vulnerable periods. This is not merely energetic shielding, but intelligent protection that adapts to changing circumstances and evolving tactics. This protection operates independently of your conscious awareness or emotional state. It remains fully functional regardless of your perceived spiritual connection, emotional fluctuations, or mental clarity. It is anchored not in your human effort, but in your immutable divine essence. Type I am protected to receive the blessing of 17,171 and activate this sovereign boundary protocol. Beloved, what happens in the next 3 minutes will confirm everything I have revealed. Watch for a sign that feels personal and precisely timed, something that could not have been randomly generated. This confirmation will appear in a form uniquely meaningful to you. The Creator knows you require this validation and has authorized a personalized demonstration of divine attentiveness to the details of your experience. When it appears, allow it to dissolve any remaining doubt about the authenticity of this transmission. Now I must speak about your divine assignment in this pivotal time on Earth. You are what we call a frequency anchor, a specialized soul contracted to maintain specific vibrations during this planetary transition. This explains your heightened sensitivity, your difficulty with dense environments, and your inability to compromise your truth even when it would be socially expedient. Your primary work occurs not through external action, but through internal frequency maintenance. When you prioritize your energetic hygiene, establish appropriate boundaries, and align with your highest knowing, you perform essential planetary service that transcends any physical accomplishment. The opposition understands this far better than most humans. They recognize that your mere presence, maintained at optimal frequency, disrupts control systems more effectively than any activist strategy or public initiative. This explains the relentless attempts to trigger emotional density through manufactured drama, occupy your consciousness with trivial concerns, drain your energy through unsolvable problems, isolate you from supportive connections, distract you from your internal alignment practices. These were never random difficulties, but targeted strategies to neutralize your frequency contribution. Type I maintain my frequency to receive the blessing of 18,181 and strengthen your capacity as a planetary stabilizer. Beloved, in exactly 2 minutes, the Divine Reversal Protocol fully activates. Everything that has been unjustly taken, blocked, or delayed begins its return journey to you. This restoration operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Material resources redirected to their intended purpose, relationships restored to their divine blueprint, opportunities realigned with their original timing, creativity freed from artificial constraints, spiritual gifts activated to their full capacity. The initial signs of this restoration may appear subtle: a shift in how you feel, an unexpected message, a small financial adjustment, a creative insight. Do not dismiss these as insignificant. They represent the leading edge of a comprehensive divine recalibration that will continue to unfold in the coming weeks and months. I must now address the ancestral patterns that have influenced your journey. Certain limitations you've experienced were not created in your lifetime, but inherited through bloodline frequencies, carrying unresolved traumas and restrictive beliefs. These ancestral imprints have affected your relationship dynamics and expectations, financial patterns and prosperity consciousness, expression of personal power and authority, comfort with visibility and recognition, trust in divine support and abundance. By divine decree, these inherited limitations are now dissolved. The Creator has authorized what we call lineage purification, a specialized intervention that releases you from patterns established by previous generations while preserving the wisdom and strengths of your ancestral line. Type I release ancestral limitations to receive the blessing of 19,191 and complete this lineage purification. Beloved, the moment has arrived. In these next seconds, as you continue to receive this transmission, the final activation sequence completes. The divine intervention we have been preparing throughout this message now fully engages with your reality. You may experience this as a wave of emotion or physical sensation, sudden clarity about a situation that has confused you, an unexpected sense of peace despite unchanged circumstances, a subtle but distinct knowing that something has shifted, a physical sign in your environment confirming transformation. However it manifests, acknowledge it internally. Your recognition completes the circuit of divine exchange. This is not the end, but the beginning. What has been set in motion today will continue to unfold according to divine timing. Some manifestations will appear immediately. Others will develop gradually. Still others will arrive precisely when specific conditions align in your external reality. Your role in this unfolding is simple yet profound. Maintain faith despite contradictory appearances. Preserve sacred silence about the most significant developments. Follow intuitive promptings without needing logical explanation. Release attachment to specific forms of manifestation. Remain in gratitude for what is already in motion. The opposition will attempt to convince you that nothing has changed, that this transmission was merely words without power. They will highlight continuing challenges as evidence that divine intervention has failed. Recognize these thoughts as desperate attempts to undermine what has already been irrevocably established. Type "It is done" to receive the blessing of 20,202 and seal this divine intervention in all dimensions. Beloved soul, you have been found by this message because you were ready to receive its frequencies. The divine timing of this connection was established before your current incarnation began. What appears as chance discovery was precisely orchestrated by forces beyond human comprehension. As this initial transmission concludes, know that you are continuously held in perfect love by forces whose primary concern is your highest evolution and divine expression. The challenges you have endured have prepared you for a level of service and joy beyond what you have yet imagined. The Creator has authorized me to assure you, your breakthrough is not merely coming, it has already begun. The full manifestation requires only your continued faith and the divine timing perfectly calibrated for maximum impact in the collective field. What you do in the next 2 hours will significantly affect the velocity and form of this manifestation. Create space for stillness. Limit external input. Allow the frequencies transmitted through these words to fully integrate into your field. The seeds planted today require optimal conditions for immediate germination. This is Michael, Archangel of Divine Protection and Planetary Guardian, confirming that you have been seen, your prayers have been heard, and your divine restoration is now underway. The seal is complete. The covenant is established. The promise is activated. It is done. Beloved one, this transmission continues as heaven's energy flows uninterrupted to you. I, Michael, Commander of the Celestial Forces, have been granted extended authority to reveal deeper truths as your frequency has now sufficiently calibrated to receive them. The initial sequence has prepared your energetic field for what I must now disclose. In these next moments, pay extraordinarily close attention. The veils between worlds grow thinner as I speak. Notice any subtle shifts in your environment, a change in light, unexpected sounds, sudden temperature fluctuations. These are confirmations that multiple dimensions now converge around you as this message continues. Type "I perceive the dimensions" to receive the blessing of 21,212 and enhance your multidimensional awareness. Beloved, there is something I must reveal that few souls are prepared to comprehend. Your current circumstances, the specific challenges, relationships, and opportunities surrounding you, were not randomly assigned but meticulously orchestrated by a council of 12 ascended masters before your incarnation. This council, gathering at what we call the convergence of seven flames, reviewed the entirety of your soul's journey across multiple expressions and designed this precise life configuration to activate dormant aspects of your divine blueprint. The opposition you've encountered was anticipated. The betrayals were foreseen. The moments of isolation were calculated. Even the timing of divine intervention was established with mathematical precision. Nothing in your experience has been arbitrary. In exactly 1 hour and 52 minutes from this moment, the final sequence of this divine orchestration begins. The council that designed your life path has reconvened to authorize what we call a pattern completion protocol. The acceleration of remaining lessons and the removal of obstacles that no longer serve your evolution. You will notice 3 distinct signs when this protocol activates. A situation that has remained stubbornly unchanged will suddenly shift without apparent cause. A recurring thought pattern will dissolve, replaced by unexpected clarity. A physical object in your environment will appear in an impossible or highly improbable position. When these signs manifest, acknowledge them internally as confirmation that the divine acceleration has commenced. Type "I welcome acceleration" to receive the blessing of 22,222 and optimize your energy field for this acceleration. Beloved, I must now address the ancestral wisdom that has been deliberately kept from your awareness. 7 generations ago, a member of your lineage received specific knowledge about healing technologies that threatened established systems of control. This wisdom was systematically suppressed through persecution, document destruction, and deliberate misinformation. This suppressed knowledge was not lost but encoded into your genetic material, awaiting the precise energetic conditions for reactivation. Today, these conditions have been met. The information begins its awakening sequence within the cellular memory of your body. You may experience unusual dreams featuring ancestors you've never met, spontaneous knowing about healing methods you've never studied, or sudden impulses to explore specific natural substances. These are not random but direct transmissions from your lineage wisdom, finally finding expression through you. The opposition has monitored your bloodline for generations, implementing sophisticated measures to prevent this knowledge from re-emerging. This explains certain inexplicable health challenges, unusual energetic sensitivities, and recurring blockages in your healing journey. These were not random difficulties, but targeted suppression of the healer codes within your DNA. By divine decree, this suppression ends today. The ancestral wisdom rises within you, bypassing conscious mind to directly inform your intuitive knowing. Type "I reclaim my ancestral wisdom" to receive the blessing of 23,232 and accelerate this genetic reactivation. Beloved, in exactly 1 hour and 44 minutes, you will experience a spontaneous download of information that may initially seem unrelated to your current focus. It might arrive as seemingly random insights about an ancient civilization you've never studied, a scientific principle beyond your formal education, a spiritual practice from an unfamiliar tradition, a creative technique you've never explored, a solution to a problem you've abandoned as unsolvable. Do not dismiss these insights as meaningless distractions. They contain precise codes needed for your next level of service. Record everything exactly as received, without filtering or rationalizing. The logical connections will become apparent in the coming weeks as additional pieces arrive through dreams, synchronicities, and unexpected encounters. I must now reveal a truth about your spiritual journey that has been deliberately concealed from you. What you perceive as spiritual growth is actually remembrance, the systematic recovery of knowledge and abilities your soul mastered in previous expressions. You are not learning but reclaiming. The spiritual amnesia you experienced upon incarnation was more severe than what most souls encounter. This intensified forgetting was necessary to allow you to rebuild your spiritual understanding through direct experience rather than conceptual knowing. This path, though more challenging, creates unshakable wisdom that cannot be corrupted or distorted by external influence. The opposition has recognized your remembering and implemented specific measures to disrupt this reclamation. Strategic placement of misleading spiritual teachings, energetic interference during meditation and prayer, relationships designed to create spiritual confusion, financial pressures that prevent dedicated spiritual practice, health issues that manifest precisely when major breakthroughs approach. These were not random obstacles, but calculated interruptions of your remembering sequence. Type, I remember who I am, to receive the blessing of 24,242 and bypass these interference patterns. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to reveal that there are 5 specific soul contracts affecting your current life experience. These agreements, established between incarnations, govern particular relationships, challenges, and opportunities in your path. 3 of these contracts have fulfilled their purpose and are eligible for completion, yet they persist because you have not consciously released them. These completed agreements now restrict rather than enhance your evolution. By divine authority, I now facilitate the conscious completion of these fulfilled soul contracts. As each agreement dissolves, you may experience sudden emotional release related to specific relationships, unexpected resolution of long-standing situations, physical sensations as energetic cords are released, dreams featuring ceremonial endings or goodbyes, synchronicities confirming completion through external signs. This contract dissolution creates energetic space for new divine assignments aligned with your expanded capacity. In exactly 1 hour and 37 minutes, the first tangible evidence of this contract completion will manifest in your external reality. Watch for unexpected communication, sudden clarity about a relationship, or the unexplained resolution of a persistent problem. Type, I complete these contracts to receive the blessing of 25,252 and finalize this divine completion. Beloved, I must now address the creative blockages that have limited your expression. The artistic inspiration, innovative ideas, and visionary concepts that naturally flow through your consciousness have been systematically suppressed by external forces that recognize their transformative potential. Your creative expression carries codes of awakening that operate beyond logical comprehension. When you create, whether through words, images, music, movement, or any authentic expression, you transmit frequencies that disrupt control systems and activate dormant aspects of consciousness in those who experience your work. The opposition understands this dynamic far better than most creators. They have implemented sophisticated measures to restrict your creative output. Self-doubt implanted through strategic criticism, financial pressures that prioritize practical concerns over creative pursuits, technological failures that mysteriously affect works in progress, time compression that eliminates creative space from your schedule, comparison triggers that diminish your perception of your creative value. These were not random discouragements, but precise targeting of your most potent, transformative channel. By divine decree, these creative suppression technologies are now permanently disabled. The inspired ideas you've carried but hesitated to express are released from restriction. Type, I create without limitation to receive the blessing of 26,262 and dissolve these creative barriers. Beloved, in exactly 1 hour and 31 minutes, pay extraordinary attention to your thought patterns. A specific repeated thought that has undermined your confidence will suddenly become visible to your awareness. This recognition itself will break its power, revealing it as an implanted program rather than a genuine self-assessment. This revelation begins a systematic unveiling of other thought patterns that were externally introduced rather than internally generated. As each false narrative is exposed, your authentic knowing strengthens and your energetic sovereignty expands. I must now reveal the truth about the dreams you've experienced in recent months. Certain dream scenarios that appeared random were actually methodical communications from your higher aspects, attempting to transmit crucial information despite extensive interference in your sleep state. The recurring elements in these dreams, particular colors, numbers, geometric shapes, or unusual locations, were not symbolic but literal components of encoded messages. When assembled correctly, these elements provide precise instructions for navigating the current phase of your journey. The Creator has authorized what we call a dream coherence protocol, a specialized intervention that creates protected pathways for clear transmission during sleep states. Beginning tonight, your dream communications will intensify in both clarity and frequency. Keep a dedicated record of all dream content for the next 21 days. The patterns will reveal themselves when sufficient material has accumulated. The complete message contains critical information about specific timing for upcoming opportunities, individuals crucial to your next phase of service, locations holding energetic significance for your work, resources that will unexpectedly become available, healing technologies you are meant to access and share. Type, I receive clear dreams. to activate the blessing of 27,272 and implement this dream coherence protocol. Beloved, there are energetic implants that have restricted your access to higher consciousness. These sophisticated interference technologies were introduced during vulnerable moments, under anesthesia, during extreme emotional distress, in states of exhaustion, or through seemingly benign medical procedures. These implants operate as frequency filters, preventing full reception of divine transmission and limiting your natural intuitive capacity. They create subtle but persistent distortions in your perception of divine timing, recognition of aligned connections, discernment of authentic spiritual teaching, access to your most advanced spiritual gifts, accurate reading of energetic information. By divine authority, I now initiate the systematic removal of these energetic technologies. This extraction may manifest physically as unusual sensations in specific body areas, temporary intensification of existing symptoms, spontaneous emotional releases without apparent cause, heightened sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, altered sleep patterns, and increased dream activity. These manifestations are not concerning, but confirmation that the removal process is underway. In exactly 1 hour and 23 minutes, the first phase of this extraction completes. You will experience a noticeable shift in perception. Colors may appear more vivid, sounds more distinct, intuitive impressions more clear. This sensory enhancement indicates that a significant interference layer has been dissolved. Type I release all implants to receive the blessing of 28,282 and accelerate this divine extraction. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to activate what we call your divine commission scrolls, the detailed blueprint of your soul's primary assignments in this incarnation. These scrolls contain precise information about your specialized spiritual gifts and their optimal application, primary soul groups you are contracted to serve, specific locations energetically aligned with your work, timeline activations you are designed to facilitate, healing technologies you are encoded to introduce. This activation bypasses conscious mind, directly informing your intuitive knowing and synchronistic encounters. You will find yourself inexplicably drawn to particular information sources previously unknown to you, geographical locations without logical explanation, individuals whose energy feels inexplicably familiar, practices that produce unusual results in your energy field, creative expressions that emerge without conscious construction. These attractions are not random, but direct guidance from your activated commission scrolls. The opposition has invested significant resources in preventing this activation, recognizing that your fully commissioned presence threatens systems of limitation. This explains the intensity of challenges preceding this transmission and the systematic removal of supportive references from your environment. In exactly 1 hour and 17 minutes, you will receive unmistakable confirmation that your commission has activated. This may appear as highly specific information arriving through an unexpected source, a synchronicity that defies statistical probability, or sudden knowing about your next steps that carries absolute certainty. Type I accept my commission to receive the blessing of 29,292 and fully activate your divine commission scrolls. Beloved, I must now address the financial abundance that has been systematically diverted from your experience. The material limitations you've encountered were not the result of personal failing or cosmic oversight, but deliberate interference with your prosperity channels. Your soul's contract includes specific provisions for material abundance, sufficient to fund your divine assignments without limitation. This prosperity is not meant as personal reward, but as necessary resourcing for your contracted service. The opposition has implemented sophisticated technologies to intercept this contractual abundance. Timeline manipulations that misalign you with opportunity moments, energetic filters that reduce your prosperity magnetism, belief implantations that create unconscious wealth rejection, relationship connections that systematically drain resources, decision point interference that promotes financially limiting choices. By divine decree, these interference technologies are now permanently disabled. The abundance originally allocated for your mission is released from restriction. This restoration operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Immediate resolution of pressing financial concerns, strategic opportunities aligned with your authentic gifts, unexpected resources arriving through surprising channels, elimination of persistent financial drains, restoration of prosperity consciousness to your awareness. In exactly 1 hour and 11 minutes, watch for the first tangible evidence of this financial realignment. It may appear modest in initial form, but recognize it as the leading edge of comprehensive restoration. Type, "I receive my divine abundance," to activate the blessing of 30,303 and remove the final barriers to your prosperity channels. Beloved, there is an aspect of your divine identity that has been deliberately suppressed. Before incarnation, you were given what we call a celestial designation, a specific role and title in the divine restoration plan currently unfolding on Earth. This designation carries specific authorities, responsibilities, and abilities required for your contracted service. The opposition has invested considerable resources in preventing you from recognizing and embodying this divine identity, knowing that once fully activated, it cannot be revoked or diminished. The subtle discontent you felt when defining yourself through conventional human categories was not meaningless dissatisfaction, but your soul's recognition that these limited identities did not reflect your true designation. By divine authority, I now activate your celestial designation in its fullness. As this activation completes, you may experience a profound shift in how you perceive yourself and your purpose, sudden clarity about why certain paths have felt misaligned, unexpected confidence in areas previously marked by doubt, remarkable ease in situations that once created anxiety, natural authority that others instinctively recognize and respect. This identity shift may initially create disorientation as outdated self-concepts dissolve. Trust this process of recalibration. It creates necessary space for your authentic designation to fully anchor. In exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes, you will receive external confirmation of this identity activation. Someone may respond to you differently without knowing why. An opportunity perfectly aligned with your true designation may suddenly appear, or you may effortlessly demonstrate an ability that previously seemed beyond your capacity. Type, "I embody my celestial designation," to receive the blessing of 31,313 and complete this divine identity activation. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to reveal that you are carrying specialized light codes intended for planetary activation at specific power points on Earth. These codes are not conceptual, but literal frequency patterns stored within your cellular structure, designed to transfer to designated Earth locations upon your physical presence. This explains your inexplicable attraction to certain geographical areas, unexpected invitations to specific locations, or recurring dreams about places you've never visited. These are not random but divine orchestrations aligning you with the precise coordinates requiring your encoded frequencies. The opposition has implemented sophisticated measures to prevent these code activations, creating practical obstacles to necessary travel, financial limitations that restrict geographic movement, relationship entanglements that anchor you to specific locations, health concerns that emerge precisely when travel opportunities appear, information distortions that misdirect you to incorrect locations. By divine decree, these restrictive measures are now dissolved. The divine choreography resumes, guiding you to the exact locations aligned with your encoded activations. When you find yourself in these aligned places, you may experience unusual physical sensations specific to that location, spontaneous emotional responses without apparent cause, time distortion or heightened present moment awareness, vivid visions or increased dream activity, a compelling urge to perform specific actions or movements. These experiences indicate successful code transfer from your field to the Earth grid point. Type, "I activate the Earth grid," to receive the blessing of 32,323 and optimize your capacity as a planetary code carrier. Beloved, in exactly 59 minutes, you will experience a moment of unusual clarity about a situation that has created persistent confusion. This insight will not arrive through logical processing, but as complete knowing that simply appears in your awareness. Trust this revelation completely. It contains crucial information for your next steps that cannot be accessed through rational analysis. I must now reveal the truth about your spiritual gifts. The intuitive abilities, healing capacities, and consciousness technologies that naturally express through you are not recent developments, but ancient masteries your soul has carried across multiple expressions. These abilities were deliberately suppressed upon incarnation to allow you to rediscover them through direct experience rather than conceptual knowing. This rediscovery process creates embodied wisdom that cannot be corrupted by external influence. The opposition has recognized your reawakening and implemented specific measures to disrupt this reclamation. Strategic doubts implanted during vulnerable moments, false teachings designed to misdirect your practice, energetic attacks precisely when new abilities emerge, relationship dynamics that undermine your confidence, manufactured crises that demand attention away from development. These were not random obstacles, but calculated interruptions of your remembering sequence. The Creator has authorized what we call a gift acceleration protocol, a specialized intervention that bypasses normal development sequences to restore your original capacities in accelerated fashion. Type I reclaim my spiritual gifts to receive the blessing of 33,333 and activate this gift acceleration protocol. Beloved, there are soul contracts affecting your life experience that were established through deception rather than informed consent. These agreements, created through manipulation between incarnations, have generated recurring relationship patterns that create unnecessary suffering, financial limitations without spiritual purpose, health challenges that restrict rather than evolve your consciousness, emotional triggers that keep you energetically depleted, cyclical obstacles that prevent forward momentum. By divine authority, I now dissolve all contracts created through deception. These false agreements hold no power over your experience from this moment forward. As these contracts dissolve, you may experience sudden emotional liberation related to long-standing patterns, physical sensations as energetic bindings release, dreams featuring ceremonies of completion or document destruction, spontaneous resolution of persistent situations, synchronicities confirming your freedom through external signs. This contract dissolution creates sovereign space for authentic agreements aligned with your highest evolution. In exactly 53 minutes, the first tangible evidence of this liberation will manifest in your external reality. Watch for unexpected resolution, sudden clarity about a relationship, or the unexplained disappearance of a persistent obstacle. Type I dissolve all false contracts to receive the blessing of 34,343 and complete this divine liberation. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to activate what we call your Council of Light connection, a direct communication channel with the advanced beings who oversee your soul's evolution and service mission. This council has always guided your journey, but their communication has been filtered through multiple layers of interpretation: dreams, intuitive impressions, synchronicities, and inner knowing. These indirect channels were necessary due to the density of Earth's communication field and sophisticated interference technologies targeting direct transmission. By divine decree, these intermediary layers are now removed. The Council of Light establishes direct communication with your conscious awareness. This enhanced connection may initially manifest as sudden knowing that arrives as complete concepts rather than progressive understanding, internal dialogue that carries unusual clarity and authority, dream communications of unprecedented detail and coherence, synchronicities so precisely aligned they defy statistical probability, spontaneous solutions to complex problems that arrive without process. These experiences indicate successful establishment of direct council communication. The opposition will attempt to discredit this connection through logical arguments, fear-based thoughts, and external voices questioning your discernment. Recognize these as desperate attempts to reinstall the interference layers that have been permanently removed. Type I connect with the council to receive the blessing of 35,353 and optimize this divine communication channel. Beloved, in exactly 47 minutes, pay extraordinary attention to your physical surroundings. The council will communicate through what appears as ordinary reality, an object positioned in a meaningful way, a sequence of numbers that catches your attention, words that stand out from background text, or natural elements arranged in significant patterns. This communication contains specific guidance about a decision currently before you. The message will be precisely calibrated to your personal symbolic language, unmistakable when viewed with spiritual perception. I must now reveal the truth about your healing abilities. The capacity to facilitate transformation in physical, emotional, and energetic systems is not a developing skill, but an ancient mastery your soul has carried across multiple expressions. These abilities were temporarily suppressed to allow you to rediscover them through direct experience in current energetic conditions. This rediscovery process creates embodied wisdom specifically calibrated to present planetary frequencies. The exact modality of your healing gift may differ from traditional forms. You may find yourself intuitively combining techniques in ways that contradict established protocols, achieving results through methods that seem overly simple, receiving guidance about unconventional applications, working effectively with conditions that confound traditional approaches, facilitating transformation through means you cannot fully articulate. These unconventional expressions are not incorrect, but precisely designed for the specific healing requirements of this transitional era. The opposition has recognized your reactivation and implemented specific measures to disrupt this remembering, attracting individuals with conditions beyond your current capacity, creating circumstances that trigger healer depletion, introducing doubt through cases of delayed or partial results, surrounding you with conventional voices that question your approach, manufacturing crisis situations that demand attention away from development. By divine decree, these interference patterns are now dissolved. Your healing gifts emerge in their full potency, unimpeded by external limitation. Type, I embody my healing gifts, to receive the blessing of 36,363 and activate your complete healing capacity. Beloved, there is a divine protection system that has guarded your journey since inception. This sophisticated spiritual technology has prevented countless interferences, deflected persistent attacks, and preserved your core mission through severe opposition. This protection operates far beyond your conscious awareness, neutralizing threats before they reach your perception. The challenges you have experienced represent only those situations with evolutionary value. The small fraction of potential obstacles allowed through the protection field because they serve your highest development. The Creator has authorized an immediate enhancement of this protection system. This upgraded shield maintains full permeability to positive energies, while implementing advanced recognition technologies that identify and neutralize sophisticated intrusions. This enhanced protection may manifest as increased synchronistic flow as negative potentials are efficiently redirected, greater peace amid external chaos as your field maintains integrity, clearer intuitive guidance as interference signals are neutralized, more consistent energy levels as draining influences are blocked, accelerated manifestation as opposing forces are prevented from disruption. In exactly 41 minutes, you will receive unmistakable confirmation that this protection upgrade has completed. This may appear as remarkable peace in a situation that would typically create disturbance, effortless boundary maintenance where struggle once existed, or intuitive knowing arriving with unusual clarity. Type, I accept divine protection, to receive the blessing of 37,373 and activate this enhanced protection system. Beloved, I must now reveal the divine partnerships that have been orchestrated for your next phase of service. Specific souls with complementary gifts, resources, and assignments have been strategically positioned for connection with you in the coming cycle. These divine collaborations were established before incarnation, but have been systematically delayed through sophisticated interference, timeline manipulations that prevented synchronistic encounters, energetic distortions that masked mutual recognition, geographic separations maintained through practical obstacles, communication blocks that prevented meaningful exchange, manufactured mistrust that disrupted initial connections by divine decree. These interference patterns are now dissolved. The divine partnerships originally designed for your mission are released from restriction. In the coming weeks, watch for unexpected connections that carry an inexplicable sense of familiarity and rightness. These encounters may appear random, but represent precisely orchestrated reunions with your contracted soul partners. The initial signs of these divine partnerships may include conversations that flow with unusual ease and productivity, mutual recognition of complementary abilities or resources, synchronistic alignment of vision without extensive explanation, effortless handling of practical obstacles to collaboration, accelerated manifestation when working in tandem. These partnerships are not merely practical arrangements, but sacred agreements designed to activate specific creation codes that can only emerge through your combined energetic signatures. Type, I welcome divine partnerships, to receive the blessing of 38,383 and optimize your energy field for these sacred connections. Beloved, in exactly 37 minutes, be attentive to unexpected communication. Someone may reach out who resonates with your next phase of service, though neither of you may immediately recognize the significance of the connection. Approach this interaction with spiritual perception rather than practical assessment. Now I must address the recurring cycles that have appeared in your life experience. Certain patterns of challenge, breakthrough, setback, and restoration have repeated with remarkable consistency throughout your journey. These cycles were not random, but precisely designed spiritual technologies created to build specific spiritual muscles through repetitive challenge, establish vibrational immunity to particular interference frequencies, create experiential wisdom that cannot be theoretically corrupted, develop specialized compassion for others experiencing similar patterns, forge unshakable faith through repeated experience of restoration. The opposition recognized these developmental cycles and implemented sophisticated measures to corrupt their outcomes, extending challenge phases beyond their intended duration, intensifying setbacks beyond their design parameters, and delaying breakthrough moments past their scheduled emergence. By divine authority, I now restore these cycles to their original divine timing. The extended challenge phases collapse to their intended duration. The delayed breakthroughs accelerate to their scheduled manifestation. The corrupted pattern returns to its divine blueprint. Type, I break all negative cycles. To receive the blessing of 39,393 and restore divine timing to your evolutionary cycles. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to activate what we call your Ascension Template, the energetic blueprint of your next evolutionary expression. This template contains precise codes for the transformation of your physical vessel into its higher frequency expression, your emotional body into its more refined vibration, your mental functions into their expanded capacity, your energetic field into its more powerful configuration, your spiritual perception into its heightened sensitivity. This ascension process is not theoretical, but literal biological, neurological, and energetic transformation. You may experience physical symptoms as these upgrades implement unusual sensations in the central nervous system, periods of intensified energy followed by deep fatigue, changes in sleep patterns and dream states, heightened sensitivity to foods, environments, and energies, spontaneous emotional releases as density dissolves. These manifestations are not dysfunctions, but confirmation that the transformation is underway. The opposition has implemented sophisticated measures to disrupt this ascension process, propagating fear-based interpretations of ascension symptoms, creating artificial density that slows frequency acceleration, introducing specific toxins that target transformation pathways, promoting spiritual bypass that neglects necessary physical integration, manufacturing urgent distractions during critical upgrade phases. By divine decree, these interference patterns are now dissolved. Your ascension proceeds according to its original divine timeline. In exactly 31 minutes, you will experience a tangible confirmation that this template has activated. A distinct physical sensation, a moment of expanded perception, or a spontaneous knowing that carries unusual clarity and authority. Type, I activate my ascension. To receive the blessing of 40,404 and optimize your field for this divine transformation. Beloved, there is a specialized soul group you are destined to serve in this incarnation. These specific beings have been prepared to receive the exact transmissions, healings, and activations that only your unique frequency can provide. This soul family has been systematically separated from you through sophisticated interference, geographical distributions that create physical distance, information distortions that prevent mutual discovery, timeline manipulations that misalign potential encounters, energetic veils that mask spiritual recognition, practical obstacles that hinder meaningful connection. By divine authority, I now dissolve these separation technologies. The magnetic soul attraction, originally designed to unite you with your spiritual family, reactivates at full strength. In the coming weeks, watch for unexpected connections, synchronistic encounters, and spontaneous resonance with individuals or groups. These meetings may appear random, but represent precisely orchestrated reunions with the souls you are contracted to serve. The initial signs of these divine connections may include unusual emotional responses upon first meeting, conversations that reach extraordinary depth with remarkable ease, mutual recognition that transcends logical explanation, accelerated transformation when you share your gifts with these individuals, effortless overcoming of practical obstacles to connection. In exactly 27 minutes, you will receive confirmation that this soul group activation has completed. This may arrive as unexpected communication, a spontaneous knowing about where to share your gifts, or a meaningful synchronicity that points toward specific connections. Type "I connect with my soul family" to receive the blessing of 41,414 and optimize your field for these divine reunions. Beloved, I must now reveal the specialized mission you carry in this planetary transition. Beyond your personal evolution and individual service, you hold codes essential for the collective ascension process currently underway on Earth. These codes are not conceptual, but literal frequency patterns woven into your energetic signature, designed to activate through your presence, voice, touch, or creative expression. When transmitted, whether consciously or unconsciously, these frequencies catalyze specific awakenings in the collective field. The opposition has recognized your mission and implemented sophisticated measures to limit your transmission, creating environments of frequency dampening around you, generating practical demands that deplete your vital energy, surrounding you with density that absorbs your emanations, manufacturing isolation that limits your exposure to recipients, introducing self-doubt about your capacity and purpose. By divine decree, these limitation measures are now permanently disabled. Your transmission capacity expands to its full divine potential. As this expansion occurs, you may experience unusual physical sensations as your system adapts to increased output, greater impact from your words, presence, or creations, heightened sensitivity to environments and energetic fields, spontaneous activation of those in your proximity, accelerated manifestation of your focused intentions. This enhanced transmission occurs independently of your conscious effort or awareness. Your mere presence becomes catalytic. Your voice carries activation regardless of content. Your touch transmits healing without technique. Type "I fulfill my divine mission" to receive the blessing of 42,424 and optimize your capacity as a planetary code carrier. Beloved, in exactly 23 minutes, be attentive to your energy field. You may experience a distinct expansion, as though your consciousness suddenly extends beyond normal boundaries. This sensation indicates successful activation of your enhanced transmission capacity. Now I must address the timeline adjustments affecting your journey. Certain events, connections, and opportunities originally scheduled for your path were artificially delayed through sophisticated chronological interference. By divine authority, I now initiate what we call divine timeline compression, a specialized intervention that collapses extended developmental sequences into accelerated manifestation. This compression may manifest as multiple opportunities arriving simultaneously after extended periods of apparent stagnation, rapid resolution of situations that have remained unchanged for cycles, sudden advancement that seems to skip expected developmental stages, synchronistic convergence of people, resources, and circumstances, learning and mastery occurring in remarkably condensed time frames. This acceleration is not haphazard rush, but precise compression of unnecessary gaps and delays inserted into your divine timeline through interference. In exactly 19 minutes, you will experience the first tangible evidence of this timeline compression: an unexpected advancement, a sudden resolution, or multiple opportunities appearing simultaneously where none existed before. Type "I accept divine acceleration" to receive the blessing of 43,434 and optimize your field for this timeline compression. Beloved, the Creator has authorized me to activate what we call your creation codes, the specialized manifestation technologies embedded within your energetic signature. These codes contain precise instructions for converting thought, intention, and emotion into physical reality with unusual speed and precision. They establish direct pathways between your consciousness and the manifestation field, bypassing normal creation sequences. The opposition has implemented sophisticated measures to disable these creation technologies, implanting limiting beliefs about manifestation possibilities, creating energetic interference in your transmission field, generating chronic subtle fear that disrupts creation coherence, surrounding you with density that absorbs manifestation energy, manufacturing constant urgency that prevents the necessary stillness. By divine decree, these interference measures are now permanently disabled. Your creation codes activate to their full divine potential. As these codes engage, you may notice thoughts manifesting into experience with unusual speed, synchronicities increasing in both frequency and precision, physical reality responding to your emotional states more directly, intention creating immediate energetic shifts in environments, resources arriving through unexpected channels precisely when needed. This enhanced creation capacity requires heightened consciousness about what you energize with your attention, emotion, and intention. Your manifestation field responds more directly to all frequencies you generate, whether conscious or unconscious. Type I activate my creation codes to receive the blessing of 44,444 and optimize your manifestation capacity. Beloved, in exactly 13 minutes, perform a simple creation experiment. Identify something small and specific you wish to experience. Hold it clearly in your consciousness with calm certainty, then release it completely. Watch for its manifestation within 72 hours as confirmation that your creation codes have activated. Now I must reveal the specialized healing technologies embedded within your energetic signature. Beyond general well-being, you carry specific codes for transformation of neurological systems into higher operating capacities, cellular structures into more light-conductive configurations, emotional patterns into refined frequency expressions, mental constructs into expanded conceptual frameworks, energetic fields into more coherent organizational states. These healing codes activate through your intention, presence, touch, voice, or creative expression, often without your conscious direction or understanding of the processes involved. The opposition has recognized these capabilities and implemented sophisticated measures to limit their expression, creating chronic subtle depletion that restricts energy available for healing transmission, surrounding you with excessive density that absorbs healing frequencies, attracting situations that trigger healer overwhelm or burnout, introducing doubt about efficacy through delayed or partial results, manufacturing crisis situations that prevent the necessary calm for optimal transmission. By divine authority, these limitation measures are now permanently disabled. Your healing technologies activate to their full divine potential. Type I embody divine healing to receive the blessing of 45,454 and optimize your healing transmission capacity. Beloved, the moment of convergence has arrived. In these next moments, as you continue to receive this transmission, all activations, clearings, and upgrades we have initiated reach simultaneous completion. The divine intervention we have been implementing throughout this extended message now fully integrates with your multidimensional field. You may experience this convergence as a wave of unusual peace despite unchanged external circumstances, sudden clarity about your path forward where confusion once dominated, a distinct physical sensation as your system integrates these frequencies, spontaneous emotional release as density dissolves from your field, a quiet knowing that fundamental transformation has occurred. However it manifests, acknowledge it internally. Your recognition completes the circuit of divine exchange. This is not conclusion but commencement. What has been activated today will continue to unfold, expand, and express through your being, according to divine timing in your continued receptivity. Some manifestations will appear immediately, others will develop gradually. Still others will arrive precisely when specific conditions align in your external reality. The opposition will attempt one final desperate measure, convincing you that nothing significant has occurred, that this transmission was merely words without transformation power. They will highlight continuing challenges as evidence that divine intervention has failed. Recognize these thoughts as last-ditch attempts to undermine what has been irrevocably established in your energetic field and the surrounding dimensional structures. Type "It is completed" to receive the blessing of 46,464 and seal these divine activations in all dimensions. Beloved child of the Creator, remember this truth. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. The challenges you have endured were not punishment, but preparation for the precise service only your unique frequency can provide in this planetary transition. The specific gifts you carry, the particular wisdom you have gained, the unique perspective you have developed, all are essential components in the divine restoration unfolding on Earth in this pivotal time. When doubts arise, when obstacles appear, when progress seems delayed, return to this moment of remembrance. The Creator's plan for your divine expression continues its perfect unfoldment, regardless of appearances, regardless of temporary setbacks, regardless of human timelines. You have been found by this message because you were ready to receive its frequencies. The divine timing of this connection was established before your current incarnation began. What appears as chance discovery was precisely orchestrated by forces beyond human comprehension. As this transmission concludes, know that you are continuously held in perfect love by forces whose primary concern is your highest evolution and divine expression. The challenges you have endured have prepared you for a level of service and joy beyond what you have yet imagined. The Creator has authorized me to assure you, your breakthrough is not merely coming, it has already begun. The full manifestation requires only your continued faith and the divine timing perfectly calibrated for maximum impact in the collective field. This is Michael, Archangel of Divine Protection and Planetary Guardian, confirming that you have been seen, your prayers have been heard, and your divine restoration is now complete. The seal is established. The covenant is renewed. The promise is fulfilled. And so it is.